Now, I was going to sit today's video out. As you can probably hear in my voice, I got something in there. It's probably a frog, or a toad, or a really big sore. But I didn't want to hold off on today's video for two reasons. The first one being that I keep promising daily uploads, and then things keep coming up, and frick it, my throat's not bad enough yet that I have to take today off. I can tough this one out, I'm a big boy. But the other reason is because I simply could not resist talking about this, because as you can see in the title, there were two major big things that happened to me the other day. First of all, I learned that Ubisoft fanboys, like to the same level of Nintendo and PlayStation fanboys, maybe not quite to that level, but in that same vein, not only do they exist, but apparently being even remotely critical of Ubisoft is enough to get them on your case. Which is exactly what I did. I guess you could say this is another special power video, because I tweeted out a few things that I thought were completely uncontroversial and were like majority opinion, and I'm pretty sure they are majority opinion and not controversial, and yet here I am with a new batch of screenshots of angry people. So it all started here. Drop a like if you're enjoying my sore voice. I probably sound very different today. Drop a nice juicy like if you're enjoying the way my voice sounds today. Little anecdote about how my voice sounds different. I was playing Marvel Rivals earlier today, and I said something in game chat about can we have someone deal with the Jeff, please, or something, something along those lines. Something along those lines. A perfectly normal Rivals call out. And then someone wrote back in the text chat telling me that I sound fruity, and they wanted me to call them father. So either I sound fruity all the time, which I'm not ruling out, or I sound extra fruity right now, which I'm also not ruling out. You have to listen to me either way. I'm making the video for you. So it started here. Dexerto tweets out, Ubisoft claims that putting microtransactions in single-player games like Assassin's Creed Shadows makes them more fun to play. They argue it's because players can progress more quickly if they pay for boosters, which is one of the funniest corporate things I have heard in a long time. Like, it's one thing to justify microtransactions in single-player games, and if that's all they were doing, I can honestly let it slide, because we've heard these excuses a million times of, oh, people don't have time to play games, people don't have time for all these things, we gotta give them some time savers, because we care so much about the player's time. We take your $70 for the game, and then we take even more of your money to not play it. That used to be the excuse, but now we've come around, I guess, and we're trying to say that not playing the game is more fun. That's Ubisoft's quote, by the way. Ubisoft literally said that their games are more fun when you pay not to play them. Which you can interpret this two ways. The first way you can interpret this is Ubisoft is just completely brain dead and is genuinely trying to argue that paying money to not partake in the thing you paid money for somehow gives you enjoyment from the thing you paid money for. There's that. But then there's also the more cynical way you can look at this, which I think is even funnier, which is Ubisoft just straight up admitting that their games are shittily designed. Like, hey, you bought the game, and then you paid extra money to bypass all of the grindiness, and then that made the game more fun. Oh, the games are more fun when they're not overly grindy, Ubisoft. You're right next to a revelation there, Ubisoft. The games are more fun when they're not grindy. If only there was something we could do about that. But I quote tweeted the news, and I said, genuinely, where does their confidence come from? And I showed one of my favorite screenshots, which is the 5-year stock price for Ubisoft, which is currently at $2.16, an 86.9% decrease in the past 5 years. And it's really not showing any signs of slowing down. They just keep getting worse with this. People do not want what they are selling. That doesn't mean they have no successful games every now and again, but it definitely means that Ubisoft as a company, as an overall business strategy, is not working. So doubling down and trying to cope your way out of the fire with this is just a bizarre move, and that's why I think it's funny to talk about. It's like Ubisoft was completely bombing left and right for years on end, and then suddenly Assassin's Creed Shadows sells better than they were expecting, or better than previous games, and now they're like, haha, look at that. That means all of our negatively received practices are good, actually. Meanwhile, their stock continues to go down because one successful game does not right the entire ship, especially if you haven't actually turned the ship. It's like they were driving their ship through a big patch of rocks and coral reefs, and they were just busting holes in their ship left and right. But then they come to a patch of clear water, and the waters are fine for a few minutes. And they're like, man, okay, things are looking good right now. Things are looking up. And then there's like another patch of rocks coming right towards them. And they're like, no, guys, rocks aren't a problem anymore, actually. In fact, not only are rocks not a problem, but we should go full speed ahead into those rocks. Because you know what? We got through the last patch of rocks just fine. And by just fine, I mean still breathing, kind of. But I got some fun responses to these. I had some fun little interactions. Phantom X responded to me and said, real gamers don't care about stocks, grifter from Seattle. I bet all you clowns are mad about this. And then shares a headline of Assassin's Creed Shadows being the second best-selling game in Europe for the first half of 2025. As if I give literally any shit at all about this. Also, how am I a grifter if I'm criticizing the corporation? That's not what grifting means. That's literally the opposite of grifting. And I would also like to know how you possibly think this is a counter to what I said. Assassin's Creed Shadows sold well, okay, but Ubisoft is now claiming that microtransactions in single-player games are more fun than not having them there in the face of a stock price that's less than a loaf of bread. And you say I'm a grifter for pointing this out, which, I mean, sounds to me like you're perfectly fine with microtransactions in single-player games, or that you're at least happy about the fact that Shadows sold well, despite the publisher using it as justification to put microtransactions in single-player games. So, if anyone's grifting here, do you think we can work together and figure out who it is? And I quote tweeted them, and I said, today I learned I'm a grifter because I, checks notes, criticized Ubisoft microtransactions. Okay. And I got a response from someone named T, who says, checks notes, you're knocking bottom line, didn't say anything about microtransactions, even though this is how it started. Ubisoft said microtransactions in single-player games are good. I said, look at the stock price. That's a weird thing to be confident about, because clearly general audiences and people don't agree with them. And your response is that I didn't criticize microtransactions. Did you actually read the thing you're responding to? But the more fun one was Fanboy Killer News, who says microtransactions have been around so long at this point, you people just gotta accept it's what the market wants. We get it, you need views, but realize at some point you just aren't the consumer target and you aren't gonna change shit crying 24/7. Which, several things wrong here. If it's what the market wanted, they would be in all of the single-player games. But that's clearly not what's going on, because it's clearly not what the market wants. Right? Also, we get it, you need views. This is Twitter, my friend. I wasn't going to make a video about this. Now I am, mainly because of you. So who's really winning here? And you aren't going to change shit crying 24/7. First of all, I'm a PC gamer in the current year. I'm very aware of the fact that criticizing things can indeed get changes from corporations. And second of all, do I really sound like I'm crying? I criticize Ubisoft for wanting to put single-player microtransactions in their games and saying that it's more fun to pay more money for less product. I criticize that and I get called a grifter. I point out that it's really stupid to call me a grifter for that, and your response is that I'm crying? Not the person who called me a grifter for criticizing Ubisoft. That person's not crying. I'm crying because I noticed it happening. Okay. And the ultimate irony of someone named Fanboy Killer News. Fanboy Killer is going up to bat for Ubisoft single-player microtransactions. This is where things get real juicy. I quote tweet him and I say Fanboy Killer is a Ubisoft apologist, and this is this is where things get spicy. He says, imagine being so stupid that you think just because someone states the reality that someone is an apologist, what a fucking weirdo buzzword to manipulate stupid people to agree with you. The reality is you are an unhappy loser who is mad at other people for buying what they want. No, you're just a deluded, chronically online loser who can't accept reality. Look at you posting this like anyone gives a fuck, you distorted, narcissistic weirdo. Internet has fried your mind. You take businesses and the world's economic choices personal like a 5-year-old. Bro, all I did was criticize the fact that a corporation is openly trying to convince you that paying more for less product is more fun than paying less for more product. I am someone who plays video games, and I think it's funny when a corporation who is so far in the shits that you could get 2 of their stocks for a $5 foot long, and yet they're trying to tell you that it's more fun to give them more money for less product in return. I think that's hilarious, and the fact that people are trying to defend the corporation here is hysterical. But apparently I am a deluded, chronically online loser, and I'm unhappy when, newsflash, I'm going to make money off of you. You're typing paragraphs at me about how unhappy I am because I criticized a corporation for fucking up my hobby. I get to watch people have meltdowns over the things that I say, and I get to make money off of them and laugh alongside my community. How am I the unhappy one here? And I was just curious, so I clicked on Fanboy Killer News' profile to see what we were dealing with here, and yeah, the second thing on their profile is some Assassin's Creed Shadows hyping. So, I think we found the problem here. Oh boy, look. If you genuinely think it makes someone a grifter or makes someone like unhappy or mad because they criticize the fact that a corporation is openly trying to convince you giving them more money for less product not only is acceptable but is more fun than not doing that, if you are actually on the corporation's side here, you really need to assess why you're even in this hobby. What are you doing here? So anyways, I'm gonna go be a chronically online loser and make some ad revenue from laughing at you people, and then I'm going to drink a nice cold smoothie and rest my voice for a little bit so I can hopefully stay on these daily uploads, okay? Doofus Club time. Muskie, Kyle Ward 789, Ed Omega, Big Fudge, Devastator 2000, Blast, Hard Cheese, One Man Savage, Webby, fucking leave, dude, Wings of Redemption, Klepto Penguin, DeJojo 6, Axel, Liam, Will Theme, The Beastums, Evan Co, Really Zero, Gaming with Dead People, Oracle, The Return of the King, There's Upside Down, Biscuit 1101, Raffle Coaster, Adam Raz 26, Max Kilovich Gaming, Nate, Blast 1314, Gabber, No 347, Hardcore, Mario be a cuck, but Harmon can't get a girl, Michael Musio, Master Killer, Firestorm 2056, Demetrius Papagiorno, Tom Schnorlaxon, Shantae is Gooter Metroid, Unknown 186718, Kev Dog 1992, Zombie Killer 5072, Official Dregs, but Your Honor, the Mythbusters made me do it, Bear Brain, AP on 504, Grimsy, Edge, Shadow Bearer 1789, Espresso 100, Kushko, Unicorn Rocker, Benefondue, The Mode is Fine, Stop Being a Doofus, Fat Tids of Lardation, shout out Sean Loranklin, T Train, Risinger, Sentinel Novel Law, Forgot to Change My Name, Partial Main 8, Volksalto, Codman 4372WX, I need a stupid name for Joe to read out loud for everyone to see, Gold Pyrock, Allorotho 1, I'm completely unstable, oh goodness, I'm completely unstable, and even I don't want a PS5. Doug Nixie Smile, Snake Eyes 227, Joe, why would you leave us? We miss you, sexy man. MK2396E, I'm still in the mocho, please get help. Henfire, X Machina Gamma, Lee, Firewall Hazard 105, I almost did it, I didn't do it, I didn't fuck it up that time. GWXSS, Wrath the Wolf, OK Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, All Games Video, Why You Little, Joe from Anthicon, Pope Rock, the Rat King, Jessica Shepard, Riki Spell, Riki Daddy, I did fuck up that one. Autonomic Dog 49, I still don't know what that means. Karuna the Steel Angel, Doug Dimmadome, Doofus of the Dimmadoofus Club, Sergeant Jason Bond, Baron Von Vaterholm, Cyrus 6771, Don't Call Me Doofus, It Hurts My Feelings, 2 Jackson 940, You Haven't Helped Him Out of the Moat, and You're Laughing, Joe, the First Doofus, Creed Word 23, Max Chev, The Chap Is Back, Totally Insane, Black Cobra, The Anwas Lair, Night of Cypher, ML04, I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray, PP Bang Dog, Chicken Sucker Mom, Banger 9009, Wolf of Midnight, Sick Rider, Pig Venus, Steve Wentz Studios, Film McCracken, Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thortsgate, Maganex, Severn Evans, Mr. Spawning 03 is the Cannon Leader, Figure Y, Mix of Pow Pow, White Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Draws Max on Twitch, Come Hang Y'all, Gob Godson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Kenny Getting Fanny, Hangman for Hire, Elton Noel, Frost Crystal, Biogenesis, Ian Action, Floppy Pinkus 97, Mega Keys, Scruffy Skull, Ghost Ho, Ryusagi, Vast Grow, Raptor 10, The Amazing Blightman, Blue Hook, Film a Tip, It's a Real Cool Club, and You're Not Part of It, Jody Breeze, Smitty, Worker, Jagerman Jensen, The Chill Zord, Named, Max Lore, McAdvertisement, Diego Garcia, JJ Desi, Mike Kibbigans, I American Idiot, Harmon Smith, Other Chin, Oh No, It's Justin, Rand Rui, Tuning Whammy, Extreme Wolf 7, Joey Scoops, Negative Creep, Joe Taku, Poop P, Bang, Cat, Chicken Sucker, Mom, Banger 8008, Wannabe Hobo, Jidge, West Bill, 3 Char, Rob C, Veg, Griffin Banana, Curtin Downs, Pack, The Scrum Master, Joe Fans coming soon, Okay Toodles. Oh, my throat is on fire. It is on fire. Okay, Toodles.